When I first saw the spy shots of the 992 facelifted Porsche 911, I was shocked that that aero treatment on the lower bumper was on the car, and thought to myself, there was no way in hell that Porsche was going to put something that ugly into production. So on May 28th, when Porsche revealed the new 992.2 to the world, I was absolutely floored to see that, yes, those aero bits made it into production. And that's not the worst. There are a number of changes to the new Porsche 911 that I feel has totally transformed the line, and in my opinion, it has bastardized what everyone has come to expect of the 911. Guys, in this video, I am going to rant about a lot of the changes that Porsche has made to the 992.2 911. And I think I know why they have done it, so I am just gonna share my thoughts on it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Don. You're watching The Bitter Car Guy. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you are a Porsche guy, go ahead. Disagree with me or agree with me in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. But let's just jump right into this video. So the current generation of the Porsche 911, called the 992.1, it's been on sale for a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and currently exists in about 25 different configurations. And one thing that Porsche has always been very good at with the 911 is taking one loaf of bread and slicing it into as many different slices and then convincing you that each slice has a different specific purpose. So you can go anywhere from like a base 911 Carrera all the way up to the top dog 911 GT2 RS, and each one would have a different feel and experience and a different price point. So you can get as basic as possible on a 911 all the way up to the top dog GT2 RS. And I believe with the 992.2 they've gone and even made it a lot more complicated by offering 2 different trims from the start. So what Porsche unveiled on May 28th were 2 versions of the 911. The very first one is the 911 Carrera, which is going to be their base model with a naturally aspirated engine, and it's not going to have any hybrid trickery or anything like that. There still are some significant changes that I think everyone should be aware of, and it should anger a lot of true 911 fans. The other trim that they introduced on May 28th is the 992.2 hybrid GTS, and that one I think is the most polarizing 911 ever to be made. So I am going to focus my attention really in this video on the hybrid GTS model. I'll just call it the GTS from now on, but when I say the word GTS, just know that I'm talking about the 911 hybrid GTS 992.2. That's a mouthful. So when I was watching all of the different videos about this new 992.2, one of the things I noticed, and one of the things that annoys me with YouTube influencers, the big ones who go on press launches and get access to the Porsche cars, is, you know, they focus on things that, to me, that they don't matter. There was one guy, I respect him a lot. I watch all of his videos, I'm subscribed to his channel, but he kept going on with the paint color, the gray paint being moved from a PTS color to now being an option on the 911, and how much he's always loved that color, and the spec. I hate when Porsche fans use the word spec. It just annoys the daylights out of me. But the bottom line is, I feel these guys kind of gloss over stuff. And I don't know if they are afraid to criticize the 911 because it may make them seem uncool, or it may put them on a list that, you know, prevents them from going on press tours and getting access to the cars. But this dude went on for like 5 minutes about the paint color, and he walked around to the front of the car and spent less than 5 seconds on the aero treatment. Now maybe in person the aero treatment to the front is not as horrifying as I think it is. Maybe it's not as ghastly and I hate using the word ugly, but when I first saw it and I've seen it now revealed, I still think it's an ugly treatment to the front of the car. But the dude gave it like scant notice, so maybe in person it's not as polarizing as I think it is, and I'll have to see it. It's very windy, so if you're hearing wind noise, forgive me. But I'll have to see it to make that judgment of my own. But a lot of these YouTubers, I think, just kind of gloss over some of the changes and just focus on stuff that in the real scheme of things don't matter to a lot of us. So let me jump into a few things that Porsche has done to the 911, and I made a little list of all of the changes coming to the 992.2 for the year 2025 and beyond. So in the year 2025, there is going to be no manual transmission on any model of the Porsche 911. And I know that would be a huge problem for a lot of enthusiasts who would like to have more of a connected feel to the car. Now, when you're talking about connected feel and that analog experience of a 911, they have done away with the turn to start option on the car. So instead of being able to twist a knob and start the car, they have implemented this push start feature on the car. And when I saw that, honestly, my jaw dropped. That is the cheapest looking push to start feature I have seen on any car. It looks as if Porsche got that part from a Mazda and just stuck it in the 911. That part is not befitting a car starting over 120,000 for the base 911 or 166,000 for the hybrid GTS. Porsche, you need to do better. Give people the option of the twist to start or give them a key. But that push button, that is an awful option to offer on that car. The other thing that they have done, which I think is a great thing, is they've increased the displacement of the engine from 3.0 liters to 3.6, so the car makes more power. I think it makes about 60 more horsepower and probably around 50 more pound-feet of torque. So of course, the new 992.2 is going to be a lot faster than the outgoing 992.1. The other thing that they've done is instead of using two turbos on the engine, they're using a single trick turbo that increases the amount of power going to the engine, helping the car be a lot faster. They have bolted a new hybrid motor to the PDK transmission, which in turn has resulted in the loss of the manual transmission on this hybrid GTS model. The other thing that Porsche has done is now they have a fully digitized dashboard, meaning that the tach that has been an analog feature in the 911 for a very long time is now all digital. Now that allows you a few more customizations, but it's this new approach to cars where everything has to be done through a screen. It saves money, but you lose some of that analogness of the car, if that's a word. I think that's a huge mistake, in addition to getting rid of the key, putting in the push start button, and a number of other changes. This just makes me feel that whatever Porsche has put out is just a 911 in name and does not have any of the authenticity that goes all the way back to the original 901 when the first 911 was made. And then the final thing that Porsche has added to this hybrid GTS is a new hybrid battery in the frunk of the 911. There are also some additional changes to the car. I'm just glossing over those, but for the most part, those are the big things that Porsche has done to the car. So obviously, the 992.2 is going to be a lot faster than the outgoing 992.1. It's going to be faster around the Nürburgring. It's going to be faster against a number of its different competitors, and that is what I think was the point of this whole entire exercise, to keep up with the competition. A lot of the competitors to the 911 have all started putting hybrid powertrains in their cars. We have the 296 from Ferrari, we have the E-Ray from Chevy, we also have the Artura from McLaren. All of those have put hybrid powertrains in their cars, and they're seeing the benefit of speed. One of the things I have not seen on the Porsche website is if you get any efficiency from going to a hybrid powertrain. Like, you're not able to drive the car maybe 10 or 20 miles on e-power alone. I don't think I've seen anything mentioned about that. I don't see the use of the hybrid powertrain allowing better gas mileage or anything like that. It just seems as if this hybrid powertrain is just a pure horsepower gain efficiency type. It's to make the car go faster. I don't think it saves anything in terms of gas mileage, and it doesn't allow you to drive the car in a silent mode or in all EV mode. And I think that's a huge miss for Porsche. So yet to be seen is whether this new hybrid technology in the 911, whether it affects the reliability of the powertrain or not, because hybrid, I know a lot of people don't want to go pure EV, and they see hybrid as a savior of some sort, but hybrids tend to have a higher maintenance cost, and I think that is going to be evident on the new 911 going forward. A lot of problems are popping up with cars that have hybrid because of the new battery and the different components that they use, such as the motor and the turbo and all these different things that make a very complex hybrid system work. So Porsche, with the current models, one of the things they do enjoy is having very good reliability ratings with all of the rating agencies. I expect to see them take a hit with this car from all of these new components that they've added to the 911. So my take on that is, own this car when it has a warranty. After the warranty is out, you may need to look for an extended or an aftermarket warranty, because to replace anything on this car that go out pertaining to the hybrid system, it's going to be very expensive. Think about this. If a PDK system goes out on a current 911, I have seen quotes of about $20,000 to replace the PDK. I might be wrong about that. Now we have an e-hybrid motor tied directly to the transmission. How much is that going to cost to be replaced? Will it affect the motor? Would you have to replace one or two? That's up in the air. The turbo, this new fancy turbo that Porsche is using, if that were to go out outside of warranty, how much is that going to cost? Factor in maintenance if you're planning to keep this 992.2 variant as a long-term play. One of the things I did not mention in my list of changes is the back seats in the new 992.2. There's none. Porsche got rid of the back seat for whatever reason. I don't know if it's going to be offered as an option where you pay to have back seats put in, or has the car changed so much that you can't get back seats in it. And I think that's a huge loss from an insurance perspective plus a usability standpoint. Some people put kids in the back of the car. You can get kids in those back seats and take them along for the experience. Some people use the back seats for storage. Yes, you do have the front area, but some people use the back seat as storage for maybe their briefcase or for traveling bags, etc. But then from an insurance perspective, I think having back seats make your car easier to insure than having just two seats. So yet to be seen what the impact on insurance is. Now, obviously, the price of the car has gone up with all the changes, and I think that is something that might turn off a lot of enthusiasts, especially with all of the electrification that has taken place to this 992.2 and the changes such as losing the back seats and the new motor on the transmission and all this stuff. With the GTS hybrid, I think the price is around $167 to start, $1,000 to start. That's expensive, guys, when you compare it against the Chevy E-Ray. Now, am I saying that someone looking to buy a 911 is going to go run across the street and buy a Chevy E-Ray? No, but it gives you something to compare against. And if you start adding options to that car, now you start encroaching on the McLaren Artura and you start encroaching on the 296 from Ferrari. So the price may push users or people who are thinking of buying a 911 to start cross shopping, and might be a barrier or an impediment to someone choosing the 992.2 as their first supercar or sports car. So I don't want to give the impression that I'm against change. I love and embrace change. If there's anything, I am very excited about the Taycan that Porsche is making. I would love to have a Taycan because I just love the shape of the car. I like all of the electrical aspects of it. But then when it comes to something as historic as the 911, I believe slow change is better than what Porsche has done with this GTS hybrid. I think this GTS hybrid is a bastardization of the 911. I think it's going to turn off a lot of enthusiasts. I think maybe right now a lot of them are being very polite. A lot of you are being very polite in your opinion of the car. You trust Porsche to make the right decisions. But I think once you start getting your hands on this car, you're going to realize that maybe Porsche has went a bit too far with electrifying the 911 range, getting rid of the back seat, getting rid of the turn to start, getting rid of the manual transmission, going from dual turbos to single turbo, and all of the other changes that it's made may just add up to be a car that you may want to stay away from until Porsche comes out with maybe a 993 or whatever the next 911 is going to be like. So guys, if you agree or disagree with me, let me know your thoughts and comments down below in the comments section. And again, my name is Don. Thanks for checking out the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.